Hi everyone, and welcome to i3 Vertical's Point of Sale's fourth installment of our webinar series. For those of you who weren't able to join us for our previous webinars, my name is Kimberly Montgomery, and I'm the marketing manager here at i3 POS. If you're on our mailing list, I'm the one sending out those emails, posting to social media, and managing all that is marketing here at i3, including hosting our webinars. So thank you so much for joining us today. I want to remind everyone that you are all in listen-only mode, meaning that we cannot hear or see you. We will have time for questions at the end, so please feel free to type your questions into the chat box on the collapsible panel to the right of your screen at any point during the presentation. Please note that this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out via email at a later date, as well as posted on our website at www.i3pos.com. For today's webinar, we have our very good friend and guest presenter, Julio Vescovi from NCR, here to discuss some highly requested topics. Some of these topics include contactless takeout delivery, contactless dine-in, contactless payments, and NCR's new future-proof POS solution. Both Julio and our i3 POS sales director, Richard Cox, will be available for questions at the end of the presentation. Our guest presenter today, Julio Vescovi, is NCR's Senior Regional Sales Manager and Cloud Solutions Expert. Julio has been with NCR for many years and has since worked with i3 POS for over 11 years. So, without further ado, Julio, please take it away. And I'm going to change you to the presenter, Julio. Just one moment here.
Thank you, Kim.
You are welcome. Let's see here, one second.
All right. Let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see it, Kim.
Yep, looks great.
Great. Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today on our webinar. I want to start off by just thanking everybody for joining us. We wish we could be together in person, but we're still very excited to be able to meet via web conference. We've done many presentations in person. We like to go from county to county to see everybody's faces and be able to interact with everybody. But it is still great to use technology as the world is changing. So let's kind of get into the agenda for today. So what we'll talk about is contactless restaurant technology for a few minutes. We'll spend some time sharing a client success story with one of our customers locally in LA. And then we'll talk about our all-inclusive future-proof POS solution called Aloha Essentials. And then we'll have about 15 minutes at the end for any questions you may have and some closing remarks. So with that, we'll get into this. Before I discuss contactless ordering, I did want to spend a few minutes to talk about NCR and what we're doing to help some of our customers. As we all know, we've had many conversations about all the changes that have happened this year. And we know that with change, anytime in history, when we're forced to change, there is always opportunity. And so we're here to help adopt to the challenges that we're facing today and the ones we can't see coming. I mean, there could be some more challenges that come in Q1 of 2021. We don't know. But one thing we do know is that there are always opportunities, and we want to help our customers with those opportunities. So your guest expectations have changed, and so have your staffs. Digital is king. The global pandemic has changed everything virtually overnight. And these two things mean one thing: adopting technology at a fast pace and lower cost curve. The restaurant industry is all about creating connected experiences. And really, you should be focused on your food, your guests, and your employees, not technology. I have seen so much creativity in the last 6 months. I know a lot of us have. I read an article recently from about a restaurant called Farmers Group that converted the restaurant into a grocery store, selling highly sought after items such as eggs, flour, and toilet paper. And a lot of us have seen parking lots turn into very beautiful outdoor settings. Reminds us of Europe. And I think one of the things I've seen is I've seen restaurant owners stress out to the point of barely hanging on, putting their life savings into a restaurant only to have a pandemic happen. And it is very stressful. You hear these stories over and over again, and our hearts go out to all of you on the call who own a restaurant. It is not easy. And just really, I've never been more proud of the industry we serve. You guys have found a way to survive, which is amazing. I saw this, I had to share this because I thought it was funny. This is a picture. I thought it was very creative, innovative. Not even sure if it's real or not, but just the idea, restaurants are going to stay in business. They are going to find a way, whether they have to create little domes or pods to serve their guests. So I thought this was funny, but it just kind of underscores the radical change that's going on around us. So change is happening. So restaurants are looking for ways to innovate and use technology to do more, and that's where our 135 years of experience comes in. It's interesting. We've been around a long time, and we know we have competition. A lot of our competition has said, "Hey, NCR is old. They sell cash registers. They've been around over 100 years. Why don't you come to us? We're a new company. We're on the internet. We're cloud-based." And you hear all that. But then when the pandemic hit, one of the things that's great about a 135-year-old company is we survived world wars. We survived the pandemic of 1918, the stock market crash. There's so many events in history where we had to get scrappy, just like you, and find a way to survive. And so now this is a plus. Now we don't sell cash registers anymore. We actually sell computerized point of sale systems, which we will talk about. But we had to adapt. And I think our long history really helps. And you want somebody that's stable to be able to take care of you when times are tough. So we've got over 20,000 service professionals around the world. We're a global company. We support everything you need to optimize your restaurants. And we also do this today for more than 50 of the world's top brands. So some of the biggest brands out there that you can think of, like Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Cane's, a lot of big companies, both domestically and internationally. And this also benefits the independent local restaurant operator, because some of the top CIOs around the world interact with our product teams to create cutting edge technology to help their brands, and you get the benefit of all their efforts. So if you have a single restaurant, normally you don't have a CIO, and do you even know what you don't know? And so the benefit is that you're getting professional CIOs around the world to really help shape the way restaurant transactions are done. And so that's a huge plus. So we are local, but we also have a global footprint as well. And everybody's got their own journey. We work with restaurants who have amazing IT staffs. We work with restaurants that have no IT staff. And no matter where you are in the journey, we're committed to helping you along your path. We receive calls from restaurants all the time asking for advice on things like loyalty programs, real-time reporting, custom integrations that have never been done before. And we get the benefit of working with many companies who have put tons of time into building some amazing solutions. And so we're very happy to share the learnings with you as well. So we have a kind of a global view. And I know a lot of times restaurants have a single view just of their business, but if we can help in any way, we're going to do that. So think of us as our team is more of a group of consultants that really want to understand your business, and we want to help build that business for you. So we talked about global company. We also have a local focus. And here's a list of some of our local restaurants in Southern California. And when I look at these brands, I've been in this group with this team for over 20 years in Southern California, on the technical side, the sales side of Aloha, and I've just seen it grow over the years. I remember when credit card processing fully integrated to the POS was amazing. You don't have to take cash, you can take credit cards now. And you fast forward to 20 plus years, and so much has happened. This is a quote from one of our restaurant groups in San Diego, Pablo Aguilar. He is the VP of Finance for RMD Group. And he says, Aloha POS is the most reliable system for restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. It can handle a high volume of transactions while remaining quick and stable. Because of that, our staff loves it. We pair that reliability with the innovation of Pulse to give us metrics of our business in real time so that we can better manage our business. And that's just, it's a great quote. I know Kim's done a great job speaking with some of our customers and just understanding how Aloha helps their business. And this is one of our products. It's a real-time reporting software that runs on your phone that tells you exactly what's going on in your business in real time. And so it's able to help many of our restaurants, just like Pablo. So during the pandemic, we had to spring into action quick. We didn't know it was going to happen. You know, we knew restaurants were shutting down big time, and it was definitely interesting to us. Obviously, that's our main business here. So if restaurants aren't serving food, we aren't serving restaurants. That's a big problem, right? And so we quickly started analyzing the industry and realized that restaurants who had drive-throughs or restaurants who already had online ordering were able to keep their doors open. They were able to continue to serve their guests. And you know, it was encouraging for us to see that a lot of our customers support restaurants, and they were willing to you know, support their local favorite establishments by continuing to order from them. I don't know if you guys bake. I make pizzas, and I couldn't get yeast. There was no yeast available anywhere. So I think as people started staying home, they started baking, they started making food and things like that. But I think at some point you get tired of baking and making your own food. You do want to go out and eat, and that's great. So a lot of our customers have seen the numbers kind of, you know, slowly ramp up for online ordering. But there was a lot of companies that didn't have any online ordering. They had no drive-through, completely shut down. And so the big call to action was really, how do we enable as many customers as possible with online ordering so they have a channel to be able to take food orders? And we know that DoorDash and Grubhub was extremely busy. They were taking orders like crazy, trying to sign as many companies up as possible. So we were able to enable 2,000 clients who previously didn't have online ordering. We also enabled over 850 restaurants with contactless payments. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but we did allow the contactless ordering to occur in restaurants in quick order. And we also continue to provide the stability to the core POS because we know it's more important than ever to have a solid POS system, especially since orders are coming through and it's critical. So I want to talk about the contactless experience here. We have two products that I want to kind of showcase today. One is called Mobile Pay, and it's a contactless payment product. And then I want to talk about Contactless Dine-In. I think both of them have a really good place in restaurants. And as a matter of fact, the testimonial we'll hear from later is using the Dine-In feature, and it's great to see how it's used in a real world environment. So the first thing we'll talk about is Mobile Pay. And you know, as many of you know, we originally built this solution in 2013, and a lot of our sales team was extremely excited to sell it. We saw the demo, we saw the presentation, we thought, wow, this is amazing. This is a piece of technology that allows you to pay from your smartphone by scanning a QR code. What an amazing product. So we started demoing that product, and customers thought it was interesting. But when they installed it, they realized that their guests didn't know how to scan a QR code. You know, and I think a lot of us on the call may be technical, and you know that all you have to do is download a QR code scanner, but many people don't know that. And so they were getting more questions on, wait, what is a QR code? How do I scan it? And it ended up being more of a bother than a help. And we tried, and we added feature after feature after feature to make it better and better and better over the years, and it was okay. And so 2 years ago, we decided to just shelve it. Let's just leave it on the shelf. We'll keep the API alive for custom software, but we're gonna go ahead and just shelve the product. We gave it a good try. And then all of a sudden COVID hits and it becomes the most important product in our suite. Everybody wants contactless. And so we decided, okay, well, instead of taking it back out from the shelf, let's completely rebuild it from scratch so that we have the ability to scale. And then we also have the ability to integrate it into some of our newer code. We thought we would just start from scratch the right way. And so we did. We built it. We had about 30 days as a mandate to get it completed and go into controlled deployment. And so we just ended the controlled deployment about a month ago. And now we are selling it. And like we said earlier in the slide, about 850 companies have installed it so far, and we've got a ton in the queue. And so, it's great because we have some of our customers have reported that over 50% of their payments are going through this solution. So it's just a really, really good solution. So I'll kind of walk you through how it works. So this kind of represents a receipt here. You see the QR code, and it's going to be on your guest check. So as you present the guest check to your guest, you might want to say, hey, by the way, you can pay through your phone if you'd like. And so they can either scan the QR code, which would take them right to this screen here where you see the items, the Coke, the chips, the burger. If you still don't have a QR code scanner, so if you still have your iPhone 2 and you don't have a QR code scanner, then you can add, you can go to ncrpay.com and add your check code that will be displayed on the check. So you have two ways of working on that. So, and the other thing too, I'm not sure if everybody on the call realizes this, but any new phone from the last 2 to 3, 4 years has a QR code reader built into the camera. So if you teach your guests that all you have to do is pull out your camera, which they know how to use, and hover it over the QR code, that will also scan, and it's a quick way of getting access to the phone. So I think if you guys are like me, you have family members who have refused to order online or to embrace technology. But one thing COVID has taught us is that we have to, and we realize that many people now are ordering online that would have never thought they would do it. And so I think it's a great time where customers are now at a point where they're willing to do it. And then there's a good compelling reason we don't want to touch anything. So it's kind of a win-win. So QR code is scanned, you have the digital representation of the check here, and then you do have the ability to add a tip. And we've got a couple different tip options. So you can customize your tip, or you can have pre-selected tip options, and then you process your payment, and you can either get a receipt or have it printed on the POS and have it brought to you. So it's a very simple product. You're able to scan the QR code and pay right from your smartphone. And this is available now. I also want to share a few features coming out in our roadmap. We've got a very aggressive roadmap, and we've completed some code in September to include gift cards. A lot of our customers have asked for gift cards to be added to it. We also have the ability for partial payments because we realize that the gift card may not cover the whole balance. So we have the ability to do partial payments. And then letting the guests know that it's been paid. We want to make sure that we make some UI improvements so that there's clarity, so that they know the payment has been made. We've also made some changes to our operator dashboards to make it nicer. In October, we're writing some code, and we're coming out with a feature called text to pay, which I think is one of the best features that we've come out with in a long time. It allows you to text your phone number to a guest, and text a link to the phone number, and they can pay remotely through like a phone order, call-in order, something like that. And then we're also enhancing our server-facing screen so that the servers know which guests have paid on the point of sale, and that way they don't have to flag their customers down. And some other user interface flow tweaks, order mode surcharges. That's a big deal. A lot of people want to do surcharges instead of tips. So we're making some adjustments for that as well. So really hearing from our customers and trying to understand what's important to them, and we're adding those features to the product. So the remainder of 2020, we're going to apply loyalty. And there's a few other features that we're going to add. And this is not the extensive list. This is, I just took a few things, put it on here. There are other features that we're adding to the product as well. So I'm super excited about it. Here's a couple of screenshots. These aren't 100% official yet, but Brian, if you're on the phone, I only put 2 screenshots, so please don't get mad at me. But just to give you an idea how this flows, you'll have an opportunity to put in your gift card number and apply the gift card to the check as well. And then the text to pay, this is a kind of little cool sneak peek. I love the user interface. I think our team did a really good job designing it, making it as easy as possible. And it works in table service or quick service. The idea is really a phone order, anywhere where you're communicating with your guest, over the internet, phone, or whatever. And it allows you to press a button on the POS. It will prompt you to enter the guest's phone number. It will text them a link that will take them to the exact same place that you would get if you scan a QR code. So it takes them to that pay screen, verify the check, then they're able to pay, and it goes through the normal flow. And the beauty of it, if you're talking to somebody over the phone, you're going to see it in real time. As soon as it's paid, that POS terminal will say that the check has been paid. And that way, when they come to pick up the food, it is paid. And there's a kind of a little fact that, little stat, 55% of customers that order from an independent restaurant call to place the order. They don't necessarily go online first. We know that when you go to Starbucks, you use the app, but a lot of customers don't realize that independent restaurants also have the online ordering. So just interesting. So this will help with that situation. So we're going to walk through contactless dine-in, spend a minute or two on that, or a few minutes on that. So this is different than mobile payment. So mobile payment, obviously, you dine, you receive your check, you scan and pay. That's it. With dine-in, we wanted to provide the ability for a guest to order from their smartphone and pay while interacting with the restaurant. Make it as easy as possible for the kitchen to know where that food needs to be dropped, because typically orders are placed for pickup, and you walk up to the pickup window and you say, "I'm Julio, I'd like to pick up my food." Very simple process. So we had to kind of make some changes to our code to allow for table numbers. And so we made it as simple as possible. So if you know what a QR code is, you simply scan the QR code. And I've seen restaurants use table tents or affix them to the table. So as long as that QR code is scanned, we're going to take you to the exact menu for that restaurant. We're going to bring you to the dine-in menu, and we're going to present the digital menu. And I think if you're, like most people, the idea of touching a menu, do we know it's been sterilized? We don't know. I feel very comfortable with my own smartphone. And so to be able to have a digital menu on my smartphone is a great thing for safety. And so you can see here that once the QR code is scanned, you're able to see the categories. We're going to tell you that it's table 27. It's a dine-in order mode. And you can choose the categories you want. You can choose the items you want. You add the item to the order, and you place the order. You send it to the kitchen. You can check out as a guest. You can sign up as a loyalty member, and you can be on your way. Super simple. Guest is able to pay, enter a tip, and go. And then they'll be presented with the time. So it'll say, your order will be fulfilled in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And that will interact with the POS. So it's a great way of allowing your guests to order from their smartphone. And since this does leverage our online ordering platform, we do respect the in-store business rules. So, we have things like force modifiers. So you can't choose an entree unless you can't send an item or an entree through unless you choose a modifier. So we have the ability to respect those in-store rules and business rules, prep time, things like that. We also have a very aggressive roadmap, and the roadmap does cover things like being able to keep the check open. So that's a big ask. A lot of people said it's great that you can send an order and pay to the kitchen, but what happens if I want to sell dessert? Now I've got to send a server over to order dessert. And so we've interviewed many of our customers, and we've got a very aggressive roadmap for Q4, and we're anticipating that feature being code complete in Q4, which will allow you to keep the check open and interact with your server. Because realistically, you may have time to place an order on your phone, maybe order a drink, some appetizers, but then you're going to be in a conversation with your friends and family, and it's really handy for a server to come by and say, hey, can I get another drink for you? Don't worry about pulling out your phone. I got it. I'll take care of it for you. Add it to the check, and at the end, that guest can pay and go. So it's a great way of kind of creating a hybrid opportunity in the restaurant to be able to add more items to the check or allow the guest to do the same thing. So a lot of really exciting features coming out with the product in the next coming months. So if you could keep close with your local sales rep, and we'll be able to fill you in on all the latest and greatest features. So I wanted to pivot now to a customer success story. And I really just want to say thanks to Jay. I'm not sure if Jay's on this call or not, but thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to interview you and just share with us about your story. So Blue Jam Cafe is a local, they've got multi-units in LA County, and Jay's the director of operation for a company called Blue Jam Cafe. And it was founded 14 years ago and operates in Los Angeles. They started with the intention of being open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but the neighborhood fought against the liquor license. And just before calling it quits, the owners decided, you know what, let's open for breakfast and lunch only. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So the first store was open for breakfast and lunch, and the rest is history. So anybody who's familiar with Blue Jam Cafe, every time I've mentioned that restaurant to somebody who's been there, they love it. And they do a great job for breakfast and lunch. And then they decided to open multiple locations and make it breakfast and lunch. And one of the things I love about this story is that the company had to fight before they even opened. They had to fight just to make it before they opened. They faced obstacles that would have forced others to give up on the dream of opening their restaurant, but they were able to fight through it and overcome. And so you think about that now, we're in a new environment with COVID, and once again, Blue Jam has had to work very hard to overcome this new challenge. So the challenge, like many other operators, filling seats, managing labor has been very difficult. A lot of changes to the restaurant. Regulations come into play every day. You listen to the news and you can allow people in your restaurant. Okay, not anymore. Okay, now it's 25%. They've got to be 6 feet away. Okay, you can open the patio. And so there's been so many changes, and that's why I really appreciate this industry for being gritty and staying strong and making it happen. So the challenge, how do we open up new channels to order? And so the solution, Blue Jam reached out to NCR for contactless ordering, and the solution allows you to order, whether it's takeout, curbside, ordering from your table. Your guests are able to pay, tip, all from their own personal device, and they control the experience, which is nice. They can sit down, they can order when they're ready, and you'll notice on the table there's a QR code. Can you see that in the middle? So they did a great job. They affixed the QR code to the table, and you can see there it says table 64. So if you're the server, you know what table number it is, and then the guest knows by scanning the QR code, it's going to show the table number in the app. So that breakfast looks incredible. I really want to go have some breakfast now. The results. So Blue Jam has seen outstanding results. I think they installed online ordering a couple of months ago, and more than 60% of their orders have been transacted through the contactless ordering channel, which is incredible. And they've been able to reduce the number of physical items that guests touch. They've reduced the cost of printing throwaway menus and increased table turns. And the best part of this whole thing, which I didn't see coming, but the best part is they were able to save 6% labor. So that's what they noticed, is at 6%. And it's interesting because they were concerned in the beginning, like many of us on the phone, this is new, so how do we know how it's going to work? But they were concerned that allowing guests to place their own orders would perhaps, impact their service culture. But it turns out that the servers now have more time to interact with their guests than ever before, and all while saving the 6% in labor. And that allows them to focus on other things, which is great, and really improve that guest experience. And so when asked about how contactless ordering has impacted his business, Jay says, to quote him, it says, guests are ready for this experience. It's also given us the ability to be more guest-centric, which they never thought would be the case. QR code ordering does not sterilize your business. It does the opposite. And so I wanted to, we had a series of interviews, and this is a web conference, so video doesn't come through very well. But what I was hoping to do is I wanted to just kind of share a clip of one of the interviews. Jay was asked how ordering has helped his business, and it's a little choppy going through WebEx. We kind of tested this in advance, so please bear with us. We're gonna it's probably about 3-4 minutes, but I just think it just underscores his passion for the business and how this ordering system has helped his business. So Kim, if you could cue it up, and we'll give it a try. If it doesn't, we'll go to the next slide.
Okay, yeah, I will get that started. And yeah, I just want to say I met with Jay at his location in Tarzana, Los Angeles. It was very bustling, very busy. I got to sit down and try the QR code myself, and it was just an amazing experience. And this is what he had to say about his contactless ordering with NCR Aloha.
We had a situation the first day we started Tarzana, where I got a call from a regular guest who was ordering for Bank of America, 20 guests. And I said, can you do me a favor? Can we walk through the system together? And I took her online and I showed her how to place an order for a group by name. And she put that order in, and the ticket was about 3 inches long. And I don't know if you know, historically, it's about 10 feet long. And it had the dish and the name of the person in red. And she ordered at 9 o'clock for a 12 o'clock pickup. At 11:45, the ticket printed. We produced the food. We carefully labeled each box by its name. We packed it together, and right at 12 o'clock, she said, I'm in the loading zone. And we ran out to her, and we dropped that food into her car. She never had to get out. It was instant. I can tell you, this is a level of coordination, a seamless coordination that I've never seen the likes of before. The QR code ordering, what I'm most amazed by that is that guests are really ready for this experience. They're used to ordering Postmates, ordering Grubhub from their phones. So especially for, the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys, like it just is so easy for them to just utilize. They don't even want to talk to you. They just sit down, they place their order. It's seamless. It's also given us the ability to be more guest-centric, which we never thought would be the case. We thought that it would make the restaurant environment more sterile. It's freed our time so we can focus on guests. I cannot take this to this point strongly enough. It is so important to understand QR code ordering does not sterilize the restaurant. It does the absolute reverse by reducing your overhead.
Thank you, Kim. So I just wanted to share that clip. There's probably about 20 minutes of interview, but I just wanted to share that little clip because kind of underscores the value of being able to order. Either whether you're outside for pickup or for dine-in, makes a huge difference. And it's not just ordering that makes it important. It's the integration to the point of sale that makes it seamless. Anybody could have ordered on a tablet. And then you have to make sure you're managing the tablet and making sure the kitchen has the order. So the idea with our system is that it goes through the system just like a normal order. The kitchen sees it's a takeout, and they're able to process the order. And so that the system is able to tell you when to start cooking so that it's ready on time. All right, so we're going to go into the kind of the last segment here as we transition, and I wanted to share about the really future-proofing your POS with essentials. Your business had to change obviously during this time. NCR had to change. We've been around 135 years. We've been very nimble and have been able to survive. But I think one of the things we had to really focus on in the last 2 years is how are we going to be relevant compared to our competition? You know, we sell a POS system and we support it, and then we hopefully will upgrade it every 5 to 7 years so that the customers are current. And so we had to make some changes to our business model so that we could allow our guests to stay current for a very low price. And we created a system we call Aloha Essentials. So some of us on the phone have heard of Aloha Essentials, and it will allow you to keep your systems to the latest and greatest versions. And if you think about it, you know, who here on the phone besides Richard has an iPhone 2? You just don't have it anymore. And the reason why is because you can't download apps that won't support that such an old version. Yet a lot of our restaurants on this phone have systems that were probably put in 2009. And so this system, I'll kind of walk through it. We'll show you how to future-proof your restaurant. So I've spoken to some restaurants that have had POS for 9, 10, 12 years. And I remember speaking with somebody in December, and I sat down with them and I said, you know, your system is extremely old. I mean, the version is from 2008. You know, how are you going to support online ordering and mobile payments and things like that when you have an old system? And he says, Julio, it works. The system still works. Why would I spend the money on a system when the system works? And while that's a good point, you know, it kind of made me feel good on one end because the systems we build are strong and they last. The other hand is we really got to get our customers to upgrade and take advantage of the latest software capabilities. Very important. You know, when mobile pay came out recently, it's supported on some of the versions. I think you know, from really 2014 on, it will work as long as you have the right hardware. But you know, there's nothing that's more frustrating for the sales team and also the restaurants than to show a new product and say, oh, yep, you want to take advantage of that product? No problem. All you have to do is upgrade all your hard drives, your memory, your software versions, and it's $7,000. You know, and so it's very frustrating for both parties. And so we've heard that from our customers, and we've made some great changes to account for that. So you know, outdated technology. One of the things that, you know, you think about COVID when it hit, people that had outdated technology that didn't have online ordering, that didn't have any contactless channels with, you know, Apple Pay or Google Pay, they were in a very difficult place and they had to quickly adapt. And you think about restaurants that had online ordering, their sales were down a little bit, but not as much as other restaurants that had to completely shut their businesses. And so we want to make sure that as technology changes, as the world changes, that you're prepared and you have a system that can help you stay up with the current times. You know, you can also create new sources of revenue. There's always new channels that are introduced. You know, I know Google's working on a channel. I know, you know, obviously DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber, there's a ton of channels that allow you to order off-premise, on-premise, catering. Ghost kitchens are popping up. So there's always new ways of ordering, and we want to make sure that your systems are updated to be able to take advantage of those new technologies. And also just providing the experience your guests desire. You know, a lot of your guests want to be rewarded. They want to earn loyalty credit. They may want to send you a catering order because they know that they're going to get you know, points and they can use it. You know, during the holidays, a lot of restaurants offer bonus cards for ordering, you know, gift cards of $50 or $100. You know, so they come to expect that. And so, do you have a system that supports it? Can you support handing out bonus cards when you purchase a gift card? Those are the things that we want to make sure you're up to speed on. And then the most important thing I think for the team on the call really is how do you do that without breaking the bank? How do you stay current, you know, without it being too costly? And so that's kind of where you know, where this comes in. So Aloha Essentials is an amazing subscription program. So you think about, instead of purchasing terminals, printers, cashiers, you simply subscribe to the number of terminals and equipment that you need. So we've heard the term nickeling and diming. Every time we turn around, I've got to buy a new terminal now. I've got to buy another printer. And so that goes away. So for one monthly fee, you get access to the latest software. All the upgrades are included. So year over year, if you want to take advantage of a new upgrade, you get it. It's included. There's no fee for it. Help desk is included. Hardware maintenance is included. So when that terminal dies, it's covered. It's replaced. The best part about this thing is that every 5 years we replace all the terminals. The equipment is replaced so that it stays current. And so, during the 5 years, you're getting upgrades. Every 5 years, you get the equipment replaced so that you can always have the latest and greatest technology in your business. And as long as you keep paying the same low fee, you continue to get the replacements. And the other thing that's really cool about this too is how many on the call, raise your hand, I'm just kidding. No, how many people on the call have wanted to experiment with new technology? Like you think, what if I was to order a tablet for line busting? And then you buy the wireless infrastructure, you buy the tablet, and then you realize, yeah, it just doesn't meet our business requirement. We're gonna go ahead and put that on the shelf. And you've paid the money for it, and you own it, and you wasted it. And so the nice thing about Essentials is that if you have 8 terminals, for example, in your restaurant, and you realize that with COVID, you can run on 6, simply send 2 back. We'll update your subscription and we'll adjust your pricing accordingly. So the nice thing is you can add a terminal, you can add a wireless handheld, you can replace it, you can return it, and that's all covered under the program. So it really future-proofs you. People worry about, well, should I do an Android tablet? Should I do a Windows tablet? Should I use the iOS tablet? What should I use? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have an iOS, will that produce theft? Will people steal it? And so all that worry, we significantly minimize the worry. We're not going to completely remove it, but we'll minimize it significantly with the Essentials program. So in 2020, i3 has done an incredible job selling this program to a lot of existing companies and a lot of new companies. And one of the common comments that I hear from the CFOs that have been presented with the pricing is, it's too good to be true. And it's actually hilarious because it's just like that. This is too good to be true. They lean back on their chair, they fold their arms, and they say, what's the catch? And there is no catch. It is what it is. It's a monthly fee. And they roll it out, and they're very excited about it. So a lot of companies, I showed that page with the logos earlier. A lot of those companies have upgraded to Essentials, and they're rolling it out, and they will see the peace of mind over the next 5+ years with this program. So there's a lot to it. We've got a great sales team on the call. We've got please reach out, and we can address any questions you have on this. And the other thing I wanted to mention on the program here is that we have a cloud suite. A lot of companies use the products like Pulse Real Time or Insight or online ordering or mobile pay. There's a lot of cloud-based products, and one of the things that we love about the Essentials product is that it includes all most of the cloud products in the base suite. So if many of you guys know, you can purchase Aloha as a standalone product, which a lot of you have. If you have a single restaurant, it's fine. You can also kind of buy it as a cloud-based with more of the enterprise features like menu management in the cloud and real-time reporting and all the transactions stored in the cloud. So there's a lot of cloud-based features that you can enable. And I think that's what our competitors look at is, oh wait, you can install it as standalone? Oh, therefore it's not cloud. And although we have the choice, it is cloud-based. You can actually install it as a cloud-based solution. So the thing I like about Essentials is that it comes with the cloud components as the base. So it comes with real-time reporting. It comes with remote access, with gift cards, with loyalty, with online ordering and mobile pay. And then you can also expand if you wanted to. But we kind of looked at the core products. We also looked at our competition. We wanted to make sure that we were feature parity or better than our competition. And so, as we go through these features with you and review them with you as a one-on-one, you'll see what's included and what our different add-ons are. But things like loyalty. One of the things I love about that is we have a baseline loyalty that's included that does a great job. We also have the ability to upgrade that over time. And if you want to start offering push notifications or or really start doing mailers or email marketing, it can grow with you, and you can add those features onto the product for a very low cost. So we have a very low cost upfront, and we have an ability to grow. And I think that's what companies like Blue Jam Cafe appreciate about Aloha, is that it can support you when you have one store, but it can also support you as you grow. And as we learned earlier, a lot of the CIOs around the world are working with our product teams to add new features and enhancements. And so you get the benefit of what, a Chick-fil-A or a Chipotle, some of the features they're adding, you get that the benefit of that if you wanted to move into those enterprise features. So really excited about the product. I hope you guys are too. We think that this new pricing model will ensure our customers are up to date with the latest technology, so that as things change, you'll be ready to adopt in near real time with these changes. So that's what I wanted to share. We wanted to cover mobile payment, we wanted to cover contactless dine-in, and then talk about the future proof with our new Essentials program. So this is it's a lot of content to cover in a short period of time. And if there's any questions that you guys have, please, we're gonna have about 15 minutes to answer any questions. If you want a one-on-one, we also have a great sales team. I think most of the people here. We'll put our contact information up at the end of this, so you can reach out to us if you have any questions. But just really thank you so much for the time that you've given us today. At this time, I'm going to pass it back to Kim and Richard.
Awesome,
Thank you, Julio.
Thank you so much for presenting today and providing insight into the future of contactless restaurant solutions. So Julio is sticking around for our Q&A segment, as well as our i3POS Sales Director, Richard Cox. So before we close out today, I'd like to go over some of the audience questions that we received in the chat box. Please feel free to type in any questions or follow-up questions that you may have now. The chat box is on the collapsible panel to the right of your screen. And I'm going to search through here and see what we've got. So we've got a question, and I think Julio may have touched on this earlier, but it asks, can guests text manager if they need or are missing anything?
Not unless they have their cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
It does not work through mobile pay to text a manager. Not at this time. Good question.
And then there's another question, can you add videos or just pictures of the food?
So at this time, we support pictures of the food, and I would say this: there's a brand new platform that we're introducing. We're going into controlled deployment in Q4, and we're launching at the end of Q1 as long as everything goes well. It's a brand new ordering platform, beautiful. I think the team did an incredible job on it. And there's a company that went live this week called Coupa Cafe. They're in San Francisco, our first beta customer. And so I would encourage you to go to their website and look at the way that they present the menu. They do pictures, and it presents really well on a smartphone, iPad, desktop computer, and then you can also order at table through this new platform as well. So just know that a lot of great stuff is coming. We're really excited about it, but at this time we don't have a video of the picture. Although very good question. I'll write that down because I will get with our product management team and see if that's something that we could do.
Awesome. Let's see, I'm sorting through. So another question asks, can guests rate their dining experience while they are there?
Sorry, can they rate?
Yeah, rate their dining experience, probably through the app.
Got it. Great question. You will be able to. So one of the roadmap items on mobile pay was the interaction with one of our features called customer voice. It's a feature of our consumer marketing package, and it does support feedback, and that will be integrated by end of Q4. So that's what we're working on there.
Okay, great. And then I got another question here. How does the mobile payment integrate with the POS?
How does mobile pay integrate with POS?
Yes.
Yeah, good question. Again, great questions. So when you order when you pay with your smartphone, it connects to the cloud. We have a data center, and we connect it directly into the restaurant in real time. So as being a cloud-based POS, we're constantly connected to the cloud. And so as soon as that transaction goes through, it's actually processed in the cloud in real time. And one of the things to note, I want to just touch on, it's very important to note that if you look at the way credit cards are processed in store, they're processed using a card present transaction. So the credit card merchant ID is expecting a card present transaction. If it doesn't get that, it will downgrade that card and you'll pay more in fees. So think about if you've ever keyed in a transaction, you manually type in the credit card number, you get charged more on the credit card statement. And it depends on your processor, but you will be charged more because there's more risk associated with a card that was typed in versus dipped or swiped. So the way mobile pay works is we don't want to send that transaction to the same merchant ID that you currently have with your in-store, because it would be considered a downgrade because you're keying it in. The phones obviously don't have a chip reader on them. And so what we do is we actually have another kind of merchant ID that it's set up as an e-com merchant ID, so e-commerce, and it's set up to expect a keyed in transaction, and so it gets the best possible rates. And then the other thing we do is we offer protection by using the CVV code and the address verification, so the zip code as well. And so one of those reduces risks, the other one reduces the fees. And so you get the best possible rates for the way that you're handling the transaction. And so when that transaction hits the POS, it tells the POS it's been paid. It was paid by Visa or MasterCard, and go ahead and close up, or go ahead and apply the payment to the check. So in real time, the check will print at the terminal where the order was originated from, and then anywhere in the restaurant, if a server goes to any terminal in the restaurant and logs in, it's going to send a pop-up message that says table 5 is paid. So they're going to be notified anytime they connect to the terminal. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that was very detailed. I think you definitely did. Man, we are getting a lot of questions here. So I've got a question. Can I share my Takeout link with another website or business?
Yes, so we do support linking. You can support linking by restaurant, even by menu, or you can link to the main web portal. So we typically link to your current website, but you can add that link anywhere. And even this too, I will say this, I know we have a lot of questions real quick. So be creative. We have the ability to scan a QR code at a table. All a QR code is a link. So you can create that link anywhere. We even have restaurants at the beach, and we joked around about having a big QR code on the lifeguard tower. Scan it, and that table number will say lifeguard 1 or lifeguard 2, or it could be stall 1, stall 2 outside, curbside. So all we're doing is we're telling the kitchen it's table whatever. And so if you guys can identify, maybe it's a room at a hotel, maybe it's a lobby. So think about those and be very creative, and we'll support the linking.
Okay, great. Let's see. I'm also just getting a lot of thank yous and someone on the sales team asking if Richard really does have an iPhone too. Too funny. Does the solution work in offline mode?
It doesn't work in offline mode as far as mobile payment, because we do need connection to the cloud for that. Now, one of the things we have done to protect that is we have 4G. It's actually, I guess, now considered 4G/5G, depending on your area, failover. And so we have a network security solution that we offer, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that because we know that reliance on the web is extremely important today. And so if the primary internet goes down, it will fail over to the backup Wi-Fi device. And so that's how we support that, because the restaurant must be connected to the cloud for that to work.
Okay. And I've got another question here. Can a client pass the transactional fees for mobile pay and online ordering to the patrons?
That's a great question. We do have surcharges, so that might be a way we can do it. You know, so like you're talking about like if you're paying with mobile pay, there could be a credit card fee associated. So you could pass a surcharge through if that would make sense. There's a couple ways we could probably accomplish that.
Okay. And let's see. So we've got another question. Kitchen has Aloha monitor / screen. Does the order go right way to the kitchen?
It does. It goes through the kitchen video screen or the printer, depending on how you have your restaurant set up. It goes through the exact same way that a normal traditional order would go through. The only difference is it'll say web order on it.
Okay. Great. And then I've got another question here. Is Aloha Essentials going to be available for Latin America?
That is a good question. I don't have an answer for that one. We'll have to get an answer for that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll follow up with you on that question. We've got everyone's contact, so we'll follow up.
And I would say this, the goal of NCR is to be a subscription company. And so I was shocked if we didn't offer it in Latin America. I know we launched it here in the US first, but we're also launching it with our retail division and our financial services. So think about ATMs as a service, and it's something we're doing through our entire company. So my guess would be yes, we will be doing it. Timing, I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense. And let's see, we've got a question here asking, did you say with mobile pay, the customer can split the payment?
Today, they can't split the payment on mobile pay. And that's something that we have in our roadmap.
Okay, awesome.
But I will say this, technically you still can. So Aloha supports split play functionality. So if you have two guests at the table and they each want to pay their own bill, you can do a split check and you hand each person their own check, which has their own QR code. So they could scan their own QR code and make it work.
Okay, awesome. I'm just sorting through. Got a lot of thank yous. Thank you everyone for joining and asking such great questions. I've got a question here. How soon can we get mobile pay installed?
Very soon. So if you want to talk today, we've got a team that would be able to send you a contract today and get you onboarded. And I think what I've seen is about a 2-week turnaround. Now it depends on your hardware. You know, if you're like Richard and you have that iPhone 2 from 2009, then it might take a little longer because we do have to upgrade it. But if you're with a current version, then it can be within 2 weeks or less.
Okay. Got another question. As a manager, can I have the app on my phone to refund guests?
For mobile pay?
Yes.
I think so.
No, you would not be able to use mobile pay to refund guests. You'd have to do that through the POS.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. So another question asks, does this work as well with Aloha Quick Service?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And I think we've got another question. How does online ordering work?
So we install it and connect it to the cloud. Typically, we're going to connect it to your website. And when that link is clicked, it will present a digital menu. Select the items you want, you pay, and we submit that down to the POS. And we respect the in-store business logic of the system. So if the prep time is 15 minutes, we'll queue it up until that time is needed. We send it to the kitchen 15 minutes early. They cook it, prepare it, and it's ready to go when the guest arrives. And then when the guest arrives, there's a special section on the point of sale we call Aloha Takeout. They're able to, validate who they are, validate payment, and then they receive their food. So kind of that's a high level, but we're happy to do a full demo on exactly how it works and answer any questions.
Awesome. And let's see here. So either now or in the future, will you be able to build surveys for the guests through the NCR product?
We have a survey tool now called Customer Voice, and very powerful. It actually links the transaction to the restaurant, to the check, to the server who served them, and it's very powerful. Probably spend 30 minutes performing a demo, and I think you'd be able to see all the capabilities of the product. But it works really well. It works with loyalty. It will work with mobile pay in Q4, but we really like that product.
Nice. Okay, I'm just trying to sort through and see if there's any more questions or if these are all just comments. I think we are probably through them all. So I don't see any more new questions coming through. But I want to thank everyone again for joining us today. I want to remind you all that I will be sending out a short survey via email where you can provide feedback and also get in contact with an i3 representative or our guest presenter, Julio from NCR. So please be on the lookout for that email. It will go out later today. And then please also feel free to email me directly at kmontgomery@i3verticals.com. We're already looking forward to our next webinar, and I hope you join us next time. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.